Happy Saturday. It's that time again. Head on over to Patreon because we are about to deep dive on everything going on with RHONJ. Is Jackie going to end up a full-time cast member? What's going on with filming? How is Danielle Cabral doing? Teresa's new wedding invitations, Luis's videos, and of course, everyone has been DMing asking if Dina and her husband Dave are on the outs with Teresa and Luis. Kim has something to say. Here are some clips. We're also going to deep dive this past week's Beverly Hills OMG. I don't even know where to get started. The world has come to read Kyle for filth. Here are some clips, and then head on over to Patreon for this full chat with Miss Kim D, RHOBH, RHONJ right now happening here today. We break it all down, what we know. We might never see the wedding, according to Miss Giudice.
I find it hard to believe because it says that it won't be filmed for RHONJ, but that leads me to believe, what about a 3-part series like Kim Zolciak, like Candy Burris? I also have been delving into, David and I were in the Hamptons, and we were getting numerous DMs about this Dina Manzo, Dina Canteen and David not following Louis Ruelas, and that there's some kind of a beef between Teresa and Dina. So we were being bombarded with this. So I went to someone who's very close to the situation, and I asked her if she can get information from me. So we're on the move with the information, but she knew for a fact that Dave and people have been sending me this crazy videos that he's doing. We touched on this a little. I mean, you know, getting his truth from the ocean, spending time with your family, like acting like he's the only one, you know, all these and he talks like in word salads, like they just keep going around in circles. He uses like a specific word that's going to be his motivation for the day, but nothing that he says makes sense. It all keeps going around in circles. And he does these videos on his own. Like, where is your background that you can give this kind of advice? Where is your, you know, what have you done in your life that you can give this kind of advice? Sit on a beach with a couple of crazy guys, you know? So he's just, listen, I personally think there's a little psycho going on here. That's my opinion. And look at what we just saw about the sister. Now, you remember the stupidity that Luis didn't know Teresa. He didn't know she was going to be there. Meanwhile, then he admits, then he admitted that he watched every episode. Okay. And he knew what she needed. And now we just see that the sister was hanging out with who this guy is. I don't know. Say who the guy was.
Well, we also found out, right. He finally admitted he watched every episode. We found out had a connection with Alexia Echeverria, that he knew Alexia from Miami. Now we find out that his sister, Veronica, was hanging out with Adriana de Mora's ex-husband. Now, Adriana was on Real Housewives of Miami.
He's good, but Luann had her Tom. Look what he did. Married her for a month or whatever. She was cheating. Bethany tried to tell her. And listen, we all love Luann. I have love for Luann. I felt bad. I saw it coming a mile away. I was with Luann, like socially, at the plaza when she was with Tom, and she was telling us all, we were with the girls. It was my posh Christmas party at the plaza. She was sitting with Tom. They had start seeing each other. She came over. She was telling a joke. We were having some fun. He tried to pull her away. She goes, I'm not finished telling my joke. And I'm like, you know what? This guy's a jerk. I knew right from the beginning. So I called that. Bethany called that. They all tried to warn her, and she went along with it, you know, and he was nowhere near what this guy is. So, you know, they all go through it. You know, a lot of these women, they make poor choices, but Teresa, and you know what's going to happen? All these people that were saying how wonderful he is and how happy they are for her, and they're sticking their head in the sand about what everyone knows. Listen, I'm going to call this right now. Shame on you. Shame on you, because you know how stupid she is. You know how vulnerable she is. And you're just like saying, oh, he's so great. How do you know he's so great? How do you know he's so great? Why don't you just be quiet and you know, watch what happens first before you go sticking your neck on the line? He's out of his mind, and he's putting a new one up every day. People are laughing at him. It is laughable. It's an embarrassment. It's an embarrassment, but look how fast he did this. He's not even married to this girl yet, and he's all over this. He's all over it. Listen, most people would wait until we nailed the deal and married. He couldn't wait. He couldn't wait. He was just too excited. Like, I'm going to let this roll now, honey. I'm going to let it roll. I think I got the deal sealed. It's all good. Let's start these videos. We have a lot to talk about Beverly Hills.
A lot.
I think we should start with Kyle because there's two things that Kyle did that blew my mind. Number one, her putting her hands on Sutton. You know, you don't do that. You don't do that. Like if anybody puts their hands on me, that is a no-no. I don't know. Kyle's a little shady this season. She said, listen, Diane is a weirdo. Listen to me. Sutton is quirky. Diane is a weirdo. Trust me on that. Quirky is different than being a weirdo.
How so?
Okay. There's nothing I like about her. I cannot say one thing that I like about her. She's not likable and she's a weirdo. And you're going to keep seeing it. You'll keep seeing it. Okay. She did admit she had a couple drinks. And again, they forgive each other a lot faster than Jersey girls do. Yeah. And then Kyle was like, when she went to lunch, well, I didn't mean it, or dinner. Yeah, you did. You were insinuating, oh, this is news to me. Come on, stop it. You know, she did. And Sutton just forgave her immediately. Where I would be like, who are you to question me? I would never lie about something like that. That's a disgrace. But they jump all over the forgiveness.
Now.
Wow. I listen, I'm kind of speechless because my son just turned 33. And if someone, well, first of all, you don't want to say that to my son because he wasn't raised as properly as Garcelle's son. He happens to be a gentleman, but it would have gotten ugly. Okay. But to say that to a 14-year-old boy, wow. I mean, there's some crazy stuff going on in this show. Crazy stuff. It was really a bad thing. And people like that should be careful who they speak like that to, because like I said, you can get someone like me, who my son, would absolutely not tolerate that. I won't even say what I think he would have done in that moment because it's something that I wouldn't want to reveal.
I don't know if Sutton, if Sutton did this to Garcelle's son, Kyle would be swinging from the chandeliers.
I agree.
He would be mortified and outraged.
You're right.
Same thing with Crystal. Anyone but those four.
That I agree. Listen to me. I can't agree more. That is an extremely good point, David. Extremely good point that I didn't even touch on. You're 100% right. Unbelievable. Really unbelievable.
Sutton would be nailed to a fucking cross.
Oh my God. Forget it. Forget it.
And we have a lot more really good points too. We haven't even gotten to Sutton's dinner outside, the mud, Garcelle getting ready to confront Erica, Diana's no-show. Kim has a lot to say about their outfits and what they were wearing. Head on over to Patreon. We deep dive Beverly Hills from this past week and hear our full RHONJ real life roundup and gossip of what's happening this week. Enjoy over on Patreon. Only today. Happy Saturday.